Hello folks, John here with Transformational Engagement. Welcome to the third video, the final video of the three-part video series where I've put together this series in order to help teach a particular breathing exercise, which is what we're going to get into in this video. And as I had mentioned, it's super easy, it's very quick, it's not something you have to do for a very long period of time in order to reap the benefits of it. And actually in the first video and the second video, I had initially talked about the importance, and really what's probably going to be the toughest thing that you're initially going to do here is to start to gather this information about yourself. So this is important because this is where it really begins. This is where you're able to utilize this exercise in order to make that change that we're really looking for and getting back into a state of inner balance, which is really where we're supposed to be. Our bodies are just meant to be in a natural state of flow. So there's two things required, really, in order to make this work. And one, it's knowing when you're kind of falling apart, in a sense, when you're not aligned. And two, having a method in order to get you back. So that's why that's important. So again, if you haven't done it yet, I'd urge you to start that practice and really do it forevermore, really, as many times as you can. Because again, that's when you're going to reap the most benefits, because you won't let it get out of hand, in a sense. I think that's a good way to put it. So as I had mentioned just a bit ago here, your body is just meant to be in a natural state of flow. So really the path of least resistance. Your body's communication system, basically your nervous system, is really what ties everything together. Now, in today's society, I mean, we're just almost in a perpetual state of tension. There's constantly things grabbing our attention, pulling us in all different directions. So when we're in that type of environment, our body almost kind of gets into the instinct that it has to either be in a flight or fight kind of mode. And when it does that, it starts to eradicate your breathing, in a sense, because what it's doing is that it could be speeding up in order to respond to what it feels could be a threat. So it's starting to increase the amount of oxygen to certain parts of your body, and it's doing it in a way where it could be also releasing adrenaline. And so for the most part, what it's doing is that it's keeping you in a state of tension. So by your environment being able to do that to you, you are also able to reverse it just by your breath as well. And this is so simple that you could do it anywhere. So at any moment when you do decide to bring your awareness to yourself and you find that there is some tension, that there is some anxiety, and you're able at that moment just to devote a little bit of time and start to bring your awareness to your breath, because that's where the key's at. That's where the beginning process of flipping this scenario around for yourself begins. So the breathing style, and this is why it's so easy to do, because if you do find that tension is building up and you got some anxiety while you're driving to work, you can easily incorporate this exercise. So you can't really, in a sense, meditate effectively. You could, but not effectively while you're driving to work. But you can practice your breathing technique. So even while you're sitting there in a car and driving to work, you can practice this. And this is how it goes. And this is how simple it is. Now, you can bring your awareness to your breath, and just by bringing your awareness to your breath, what you're going to find is that is that it's one, either going to be erratic, and there's just no rhythm to it. And maybe you'll find that there's a little bit of, maybe it's a little bit labored. And it would be so because you have built up tension in a sense. So when you begin that awareness and you start to breathe, and what you're going to want to do is to start to deepen that breath. So you're going to breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth. So, and actually here at the moment, I have built up a little bit of tension because I'm doing a video and it's just not the most natural thing for me to do. So I can actually feel it right now, and it's just kind of like building up just around my shoulder area and so forth. So what I would do here at this moment, and by the way, there's a little bit of allergies going on here as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to breathe in through my nose and then out through my mouth. And I'm not forcing it. I'm just letting it flow essentially here at the moment. But I do want to get it to a point where I feel like I've taken a full deep breath in. So again, in through the nose and then out through the mouth. And I'm also going to be like looking to bring that energy, bring that breath kind of towards my gut area. So I'm going to be filling that area up first, and then it starts to expand up and more towards my lungs as these cycles begin. So and right there in that exhale that I just did, it was erratic. I could see that and not see, but I mean, I could feel that it was erratic because there was little spurts in it. And those spurts are that tension being released. So I'm gonna do this again. Now, in just those 3 or 4 cycles that I did there, I could start to feel my blood pressure dropping, the tension fully getting into a state of being released. Not fully there yet, but I could tell that just the more I would be doing this, how it would start to relieve more tension, if you will. And I'm gonna provide right now the secret sauce, and this is the most important thing, because in these cycles of breath that we're doing, we can start to deepen them, and it's very beneficial, as I just showed right now, just by me being able to release some tension. But the key factor and what we're really looking for is, and before I actually get into it, our minds and our heart as a physical entity in our body with our nervous system and actually with our gut are all corresponding together. It's almost like 3 different microprocessors in your body that are trying to communicate. And each of them are essentially trying to come to the same parameters of functioning, because that's their natural state. What the body's going through, the heart will go through as well, and so will the gut. And in that system, with your nervous system, once they are not able to communicate, that's when you're really just out of the zone. You're not in the zone. So the fastest way to get those microprocessors working is all about the rhythm. And that's the secret. That is the most powerful way to get your body to be realigned. So what I mean by that, by the rhythm of your breath, is that when you're focused and your awareness is on the actual rhythm of your breath, one, it really makes it difficult for you to think of anything else. So it's almost like if I said right now, let's count to 4, 1 through 4, and then from 4 back down to 1. and just keep doing that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just me counting 1 to 4 and 4 to 1 and just going through that process really makes it difficult for me to think of anything else. There are just moments of it, but there's not actual real thought process going on other than me being in that state of mind of counting 1 through 4 and 4 back down to 1. So that's the first thing that it's going to do when you're focused on the actual rhythm, because I'm going to show you just how to do that here in a second. And when your mind is able to quiet, then the rest of your body kind of knows that, hey, we're not in a fight flight kind of situation here. We can begin to kind of start, releasing some tension here. It's okay, we can relax. And they start to come into alignment together. And that's where the process really begins. And we really start to reap the benefits just even in that moment. So again, getting back into the rhythm, and this is really how it's really effective. So when you take that breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth, the out breath out of your mouth is where the tension is really being released. When you take a breath back in, tension does build up to a certain point, but on the exhale is where all the tension and essentially thinking, for the most part, ceases at that moment. So you'll notice that when you are fully aware of taking a breath fully in through your nose and then out through your mouth, when you reach that point on your exhalation and you've released all the air, there's that moment right at the end where nothing is happening. There's no thought. And if, in fact, you could do it at any moment, and you'll notice that right at that moment that the exhalation has ended, there really is no thought process going on. You could try it right now if you want. And and it's that moment that allows your body the ability to reestablish connection between all those points that we had mentioned, like the gut area, the heart area, and the mind area. And even just for that split second, for them to be able to communicate, which they're communicating at lightning speed, is one of the most powerful things you can really do for yourself. So in order to be able to increase that and speed that process up, on your exhalation, on the point of exhalation where you have released your air fully, you're going to mentally count out a 1,000, 2, 1,000 before you take your breath back in through your nose. And even anywhere between 5 cycles of that to 10 cycles, and really if you can do more, if you have an hour drive to get to work, and maybe you did it for 5 cycles at one point and 6 cycles at another point, it's fine. But at any moment, the more you can devote to it, the more benefits you're going to see right at that moment. Now, the more you practice this throughout your life, throughout your day, throughout your week, and so forth, for one, you're in that process of bringing your awareness to yourself, and 2, you're practicing this. So for those moments that maybe you're losing it a little bit, maybe you're getting into that drifting mode, you could do this. You can easily incorporate something so simple as this and not even really think about it and just do it, because your body will automatically realign itself to where it needs to be in its natural flow. And that's your core center. That's where you're in the zone. That's where everything really just becomes easy for you. And again, those benefits are, if there's any particular addictions that you're going through right now, you'll be able to muster up a little bit more will. You're going to have that fighting power to, get it out of your life. If there's any issues with your marriage, it could It could help to resolve